Hi guys. Can everybody hear me? Can everybody type in the chat or just let me know? Can everybody hear me? Just checking the audio here, guys. Second, this is my first stream here. Okay, perfect. All right, guys. Hope it's clear as well. So we are about half an hour, or we're about half an hour away from London session. Sorry, I was just echoing here. Okay, so yeah, we're about just under 30 minutes before London session. I did want to start the stream at this time. The reason is because I did see this valuable setup forming here. This is about Wednesday evening into right into London opening. So look here, I did remove the the zones here just so I can draw it out for you guys again. It should be very visible here. So we see this range here now. On the higher time frames, we could see that there's a little bit of a shift here, but I'm going to keep it here. I'll tell you guys why. We're going to add the EMA here. So let's go ahead and add the EMA here. Again, this is just for the first time, guys. And we all know that we use the 50 EMA. Let's go here. I'm going to change that. Sorry, 50. Okay. And so we have price in this range. There's our 50 EMA. So we have price in this range currently, and you can see that there is an EMA approaching. So this is a smaller range, and normally I would explain myself a little bit, but because we're getting right into a trade where there's a possible entry right before London opening, we could see this is about a 29 pip range here, and we have an EMA tap below, right? So all the EMA is actually below, and so let's see if there's a non-wick candles above. No. So we have some exposure here, and for us to or for this to indicate that there can be a move or a play downwards, right? So let me set the arrow here. Now it is again before London opening, so it could make its way up prior to coming down, but let me take a look on this time frame. Let's see how many taps we have here. So we got 1 to 1, 2 and 2, and we got the third tap, and so we can definitely look for this this price coming down here, right? So we can definitely look for this. This is a viable move. That is very possible. Again, we are about 24 minutes right before London opening, so we could see some exposure up. So we could see something along the lines of GJ coming up here and then exhausting itself and then coming right back down. We have some good wicks, EMA taps, some stronger EMA taps, which are the higher time frame EMA taps below the price. More specifically, the 15-minute and the 30-minute looks more ideal, because by the time the price shifts, the price, let's say it consolidates here and then shifts down, by that time the EMA tap is going to end up right at the bottom of this range that we've drew out, right? So very ideal range here. That is very probable, and we are at an entry point for us to be, for us to execute here. So we're going to take a look if we can get some exposure up. So I would ideally want this to be a sell stop. So if we're at our possible entry point, want to just wait out here to see on the next candle, so on the next 5-minute candle, can we get a little bit of push up and then bring this way down. So short position, so this would be a 1-to-1 because it's, again, under 30 pips, this range. So if we're going for the, let's say 27 pips, let's go for a 1-for-1 right here. 27 for 27, right? And that would complete that. So again, price is above our entry point. And normally we want it to be at least 4 to 5 pips above so we can execute. Again, 80% of the time, we're looking at price. Actually, 80% of the time, we're looking at executing with a sell stop or buy stop. Now, this would be a sell stop. Price is, again, above our entry point, so our sell stop would be executed here if it did drop indeed. So we are going to wait out here. And see, so you see it is, price is pushing up here. So our entry point would be around 186.310. 186.310. We haven't executed that because our sell stop is there now. And so now price has gone above, right? So yes, so now about 4 or 5 pips above. So our sell stops are going to be entered now, and we are waiting for the sell stops to be activated, right? So our entries in order. We're about 20 minutes prior to London opening, and we have about a 27 pip TP and 27 pip stop loss, 1-to-1 here, right? So let the price ride out. Let's see what happens here. And we have USD CAD here, which is also, let's see what type of range it's in. We could draw something out here. See, and right with the EMA tap, which is in line. Right here. All right, so we have some taps here as well. So the EMA tap is right below, so this is very, very nice entry here, guys. So our GJ, again, our entries, this is a sell stop. We're looking at entry at 186.310. And it's going to be a 1-to-1. Let's move this so it's more clear. Okay, I'm not sure if there's a lag. Are you guys getting a lag here? Sorry, again, this is the first time, so we're just kind of getting things ready here. Is there a lag for you guys on the video or audio? Okay, maybe not. Alrighty. Okay, so we're looking at 2 entries here. We're looking at our USD CAD buys. And we're looking at our GJ sells. Okay, perfect. So no lag and audio is fine as well. Perfect. Okay. So we got two setups here, guys. One is the USD CAD. That's in line here. Again, there's an EMA tab below. We're looking at a 25 pip range here. So for USD CAD as well. So we have obviously the London opening coming, but we got setups right in order, right before London opening. Two setups here. So we're going to have our longs. So 20, let's make it 24 pips. And we're going to be 24. So we got our 1-to-1 for USD CAD. And we got our 1-to-1 for GJ as well. So both will be a 1-to-1 risk to reward ratio. And we're looking at taps here of the EMA and then the execution. We're about 1 minute away from a 15-minute candle. So we're going to see how this plays out. And again, now USD CAD is approaching our bottom end of the range with where the tap is as well, the 30-minute EMA tap. And again, we're looking to execute with buy stops here. So we have two entries. Potentially right before London opening. All right, guys, should be very, very clear here. Okay, we have GJ coming down to our entry. We have the USD CAD rejection here. Okay, GJ is coming down. So GJ has been executed, and we got our USD CAD. So again, that's where the challenge is. Either you do market execution, or you simply allow the price to go above or below, and you execute with sell or buy stops. So either or. Right. So there's a beautiful 30-minute EMA tap. Again, the reasoning why you may want to execute with execute at hand and do an instant execution is when there's an EMA tap lining up with the range, and for that reason there may not be any drawdown or price going against you at all. and then you can go ahead and execute. So these are clean ranges here. Now we're looking at a little rejection on GJ for the entry. So that, this has already been executed, GJ, but USD CAD is running clean for anyone that entered on instant execution. So I did not. But again, if there's an EMA tap lining up with the range perfectly, that should be in a good indication of entering at market. So we're about 12 minutes away from London opening. All right, so we got about 10 minutes left before London opening. Again, we could see a rejection to the upside for the GJ range, and then price coming right back down. So we have a good enough, stop loss to TP, right? So 27 pips on both ends, a 1-to-1 only. Again, for these live streams, even the ones being hosted on YouTube, we're going to keep it at minimum or even maximum at 1-to-1, right? Sometimes we may get the ideal 1-to-2 or 1-to-3, but keeping in mind that we're trying to execute within an hour or 2 hours, whether it's London opening or New York session, where we may not be able to hit more than 1 TP, right? But that's fine, right? We go for low, medium to low risk trades, and we execute on that basis, and it'll give us less risk, but that's completely fine, right? Lower risk and high probability. And the good thing is, as soon as our trades hit, we call it a day, and that's it. No need to continue to hunt for more setups, right? You can come back for the next session. However, we won't need to actively hunt for more setups, as we've gotten our setup for the session or for the day, and we move on, right? And that's a good mindset to have, and it'll be good for the psychology as well. Now, again, that won't always be the case. We won't always have perfect setups lined up, whether it's pre-London or right at London opening, or even into London, an hour into London, or an hour into New York. It doesn't always happen. Today it was just, the setup was in that manner, but we are going to try to see if there's setups we execute low risk, but that may not always be the case. It may move into from London to New York session, and markets are slow for that day, or there's too many high impact fundamental events that we want to avoid. So again, day by day, it will depend on different factors. Keeping that in mind, we are going to actively hunt for 1-to-1 ratio setups, which is ideal for a single session, and the likelihood of having those hit are pretty high. As again, I've tried and tested this strategy, and the accuracy rate is very, very high. So looking forward to seeing a lot of you guys here on a regular basis. I am going to be on YouTube for a little while, and trying to just get the word out there to for you guys to see that there's a new system that you may not know, which may be more simple than other systems that use maybe outdated indicators and a lot of things. We don't use Fibonacci here. We don't use trend lines. We don't use a lot of the different indicators that may be outdated and laggy or whatnot. A lot of times we may not even need those. There's the only single indicator that I use is the 50 EMA, but again, that there's a reason why, and the likelihood of that indicator being useful for the strategy and system and overall for you to be profitable, it's very high, right? And I've shown that in my course. I do have the link in my bio and also in the description if you guys are interested. This is called the range ideology, and we keep it very, very simple, right? Very simple. Only one indicator, which is the EMA, as you guys can see, and we follow market structure. We look at the touches on either end of the range. As we know, markets consolidate about 75 to 80% of the time in higher and lower time frames, and that's what we're looking for. All right, so now we are about 5 minutes away from London opening. Let's take a look at some of the fundamental events. So we don't really have any news coming out during London opening all the way through into New York, which is of any medium or high impact. So we shouldn't expect any big jump of price for either pair that we have a setup ready for. So that's USD CAD and GJ. But again, London opening could give price some exposure either way. We are in the GJ trade. USD CAD did move up from the 30-minute EMA tap right at the bottom of the range, which again is it's ideal that when you have an EMA lineup with a either end of the range, that a likelihood of reversing while it's in the range completing its touches is very high. Again, we're about 4 minutes away. Let's see how London opening treats us. So typically this trade would be low risk, medium to low. Just because this trade was executed prior to London opening, that's the only thing that could bring it to the medium to high level, right? So I would say more medium, just because London opening is approaching, and we could see a fake out perhaps, right? So sometimes again, if you feel that because of London opening, the approach the London opening approaching, you may feel that, okay, you know what, you want to wait out until London opening, and if price is still above our entry, we can execute then. That's completely fine. Again, you always have to level off your risk and see what's best for you. On the other end, we see USD CAD here, which is in the green for all those that executed perfectly. But let's see if we get a little bit of a drawdown on the London opening segment, and then, okay, so we see GJ pushing here. So again, this was a 27 pip to 27 pip stop loss in TP. So 1-to-1. We did have a lot, and the reason why I had a larger stop loss in terms of, normally for a small range, you could have a 20 pip, 15, 20, 25 pip stop loss. But because of, again, the London opening aspect, wanted to keep that breathing room in. Just so it has some breathing room for the London opening exposure, and then maybe bring its way down, right? Let's see. All right, we're just about 1 minute away. 1 minute away. We're going to see what happens here for London opening. Okay, so we see GJ just is flying through. Okay, so we're about to hit London opening here. Okay, here we go. So now if we take a look, the 15, 30 minute, 1 hour, 2 hour, all of them have closed out above the range that we drew out, but the 4 hour still is in the mix, right? So let me move that out. You can see 4 hours still in the mix of this range, and so we could see a GJ dump and get right back into the range that we've drawn out here, and which would validate the trade. But let's see what happens here. Okay, now we see USD CAD coming back down. So again, GJ opened up with a non-wick candle, which again, most often, in the 1 hour, it will come back to fill. But let's see if it rides right back into the range, right? Let's see if GJ comes right back into the range and bring its way down. Brings itself down. But the 30-minute EMA, you can see now for GJ, is approaching that range, right? So the range is very very clear here, that indeed that price will come back into this range, again, is not always guaranteed. There is a no wick, a non-wick candle, the current candle that we're looking at for GJ. So that's something that we have to wager out and see. Although price is reaching back to entry for USD CAD, now price is back to entry. All right, so price is back to entry for USD CAD. So we can see here that it is tapping the 30-minute EMA. Now, if we want to go ahead and execute, we can execute. So I will execute here for instant execution. So no buy stop for USD CAD. Let's go ahead and do a market execution right at the range area. So it's at the range, it's at the tap right now. And let's activate USD CAD buys. So both USD CAD and GJ are active trades right now. So the entry for GJ sell is 186.310, and for USD CAD buys is 1.35 200 210. So 1.35 210, and both are activated. And USD CAD is already in profit. So very nice entry here for USD CAD. And for USD CAD, again, it's 24 pips on both ends. Stops and TPs 1 for 1. And we're approaching entry for USGJ. So GJ was already executed prior to London opening. Again, there is no wick on the current 1 hour candle for GJ, which will also mean the current 15-minute and 30-minute candle. There's no wick. Now, most often this will fill, but can we get our move complete prior to GJ coming back up? Or if it may not come back at all. This is a London opening candle, so we could see a move, shoot down according to our analysis, according to our range, and at the same time, it just pummels down here, right? Because they will complete the full range capacity here for GJ. And we could see, the breakout for the GJ range, but again, we will close at our 1-to-1 target here. Again, USD CAD is right our entry, and GJ is nearly at our entry. So both prices, both pairs right at our entry point. So we can again see the direction shift for both pairs towards the direction we want, right? So GJ sells at 186.310 and USD CAD buys at 135.210. So maybe I should also start, I should write here as well. So we have USD CAD buys. Let's move too small, 24. And then we have GJ sells at 186.310. So 186.310. Okay. And USD CAD buys. So these are both again looking very, very nice for us and for the pair to complete. So GJ is or was into profit right at entry, and USD CAD is also in profit. So both pairs are in profit right at after London opening. USD CAD was prior to London opening, but it did a kind of small rejection, then came right back into profit with the second rejection of the 30-minute EMA. And GJ is just getting into profit, right? But again, there's no wick on the current 1 hour, 30-minute, and 50-minute candle for GJ. So can we see that candle come right back up? Let's look at the lower time frames. There is a 5-minute EMA and 50-minute EMA before our TP for GJ. But let's see if we can do a quick push to close that off. Okay, we see GJ come right down. That's really good. It's a lot of action, if we can call it, right at London opening, or prior to London opening and into London opening now, for both of these pairs, USD CAD and GJ. And just to see if I just want to ask, is anybody in any of these trades? Anybody in the chat? You guys can type in the chat. Anybody in these trades for GJ or USD CAD? Okay. So again, we'll look to have more people joining. So again, we can create a larger community. Together. Again, this is all free broadcast, so there's no charging. We want to just make sure we can grow the community, and I kind of want more people to see this simple strategy and understand it, and create a larger community that enables people to understand that there's a simple way of learning and trading, and we don't need to be more complex. So we can unlearn a lot of these more complex indicators and strategies, and just get back to the basics, something that the market repeats over and over, and increase our winning rate. And by increasing, we're also decreasing our our high risk. So keeping in low risk setups, something that's going to happen in high volume sessions, such as the London and New York sessions. And whether it's an hour prior, half an hour prior into the session, just like we did today, or it's, an hour after the session, whatnot. But again, it's a high volume pickup for the single for that pair that we trade, or pairs. In this case, USD CAD is also moving, so even though it's not New York session, but certain times there's pairs that will move in multiple sessions, right? So that's something that you have to back test for your pair or pairs and see. But again, if you guys are more than welcome to look at the pairs that I trade and learn from that and execute accordingly. Excellent. So I see, yeah, we're just around 5. I've seen 5 or 6 people, just under 10 people. But again, we're trying to grow. And yeah, I can definitely put this up on the recordings on the live, right? So if you guys go into the YouTube channel and you guys see any lives that are recorded, I can definitely go into that. Yeah, it is recording, right? So anything that's YouTube streamed, I can go ahead and put it as an upload later on. So I'll definitely keep that. Again, you guys are more than welcome to invite others as well. This will be a free broadcast for the time being. Again, I'm trying to grow the community and enable the community to understand that there's a simple way of a really, really simple way of learning how to trade and how to execute and keeping setups just with the market structure, no crazy indicators, a single indicator that helps us better the strategy, right? By understanding which, by basically understanding entry and exit points, and with an added confluence. But this is the key here, right? That we look at a single range in a single time frame and evaluate further, whether switching through higher time frames, lower time frames, switching through and seeing if that range is consistent, and then our touches on either end. So we're looking at perfect ranges, right? So market consolidates about 75 to 80% of the time, and then we have on the other end, we have perfect ranges in that consolidation period, right? So that's very key here, that we have perfect ranges in between that consolidation period, which we can catch, and we are catching those. So you guys are looking at a few ranges here that we've caught in real time in these sessions for our pairs. And once that third touch to third touch completes the range, sometimes it may only be the second to third touch, but sometimes they may be greater than that. But up to the third and third touch is when we won't trade that range anymore, right? Because the accuracy and the probability rate for that touch to reach the other end of the range becomes lower, right? So that's something that I'll be going over on the live streams. Obviously, I do go over that in depth in the course. So if anybody is interested in the course, there is the link in the description. And yes, you guys are more than welcome to ask any questions. What is my average win rate using 1-to-1? So it's very high, I could say. So for all those members that have joined the live streams, so I've been doing live streams, privately with the course members until now, which I've opened up to the public. We have not lost a trade. So there's not been a single trade that's lost, because again, we're only looking for the safest setups. There's nothing crazy here. Again, you guys can see there's no crazy indicators here. We're only using the EMA. Other than that, is simple market structure. Looking for the range top to top, top to top, bottom to bottom, and that's pretty much it. And so it's very, very high, I would say. If you can catch these ideal ranges, your winning rate is going to be very high. All you have to do is control yourself and only execute 1 to 2 or 3 setups a day. That's all. But this is something that the market repeats and has to repeat, because the market has to consolidate in a certain area or zone, whether in small time frames or larger time frames. It's always going to be the case. That is something that's, you can backtest as historically, markets always consolidate, right? So rather than looking for breakouts all the time, which a lot of strategies do, why look for breakouts when that only occurs a small percentage of the time? Why not look for trading within the range, which is what I define as the range ideology, trading within the range, which occurs 70 to 80% of the time, right? So while markets are ranging, we're making money. While markets are ranging, the people or the strategies, systems that are waiting for the breakouts are still waiting. So that's the key here. Yes, I'm going to look into uploading the live streams. Again, trying to grow the community to understand that there is a more simple and better way to trade, which is trading within the range. And it's something the markets repeat over and over. So in terms of that, grow the community to understand that there's this strategy, there's a simplified strategy, and I want as many people as possible to benefit from this. So I would also encourage all the members that are watching, that if you guys can also invite, any traders out there that are stuck or not profitable, or feel that they need this new system, they can unlearn everything and come join the live streams and benefit as much as possible, right? So it's not only the strategy itself, but there's guidance that obviously are presented in these live streams as well. Not only mine, I'm pretty sure there's other live streams or live stream hosts and mentors that do this. But again, there's a lot of engaging content and information and knowledge that that you can learn and take in, right? So a lot of value there. All right, so GJ is coming down, so that's good. We're into profit, and USD CAD. Both of them are just moving brilliantly right now, right? So nothing I can say against these pairs right now. All are working right to what we would like it to. So there's an EMA, 15-minute EMA coming for the GJ setup. So we do have to take a look at that as a possible rejection here. But again, because, let's look at the 30-minute here. Because of the 30-minute below the range and price being which has reached there prior as well, right, to complete the larger end of the range, we could see price coming right down, right? So we're about 15, 16 pips away from our TP. Just the last few wicks on the 50-minute have tapped the 50-minute EMA and rejected, right? So let's see if that's the case as well here. Yeah, so do I have any entry criteria? Or is it always a third touch? So yes, there is some confluences that we look at, right? So there are some taps, possibly the EMA. But what I was talking about is the third touch to the third touch is ideally the last end that is tradable within the range, right? Beyond that, the accuracy and the probability of the one end price coming to one end to the other end for the fourth, or let's say third to fourth touch or fourth to fourth touch, is very, very low. So I wouldn't even trade that. But the third touch to the third touch would be a high accuracy probability. But there are some conditions and criteria that we do have to look at. Of course, I'm probably not going to be presenting all of those things, in one live stream, but over the course of live streams, you may learn that, or simply, again, you can go on the course that I have linked to the description and see, what I have presented there as well. But yeah, there are conditions. It depends on, again, a lot of conditions. So it depends on the EMA taps. It also depends on how the price is moving. If there's no wicks on the current candle, if, let's say, it's approaching a high volume event. So there's a bunch of different factors. Again, we evaluate each one individually, and that's something that you can get good practice with the live streams, right? So I would, again, encourage to join as many live streams as possible. I will try to have a regular schedule. With the live streams, I'm still deciding that this is the first live stream that I am doing on YouTube, not the first one that I've done with the course members or my course members, but this is the first one on YouTube. I'm going to kind of see how we can set up a schedule where I do live streams for New York and London sessions alike. So we're about almost 25 minutes into our the London opening, and price is, again, in both pairs are in profit. However, again, for GJ, price has rejected the EMA tap, right? So that's something that won't be uncommon, that the price will reject the EMA tap. However, if there's something that's stronger below it, right? So 30 minutes EMA is below it, it is stronger, price has reached there, that's also the bottom end of the range. So things like that help us understand that price can dump down further, right? So we're still looking at GJ, USD CAD. So there is less of a pickup right now. I guess we'll wait until the 30-minute candle closure to see some more movement, but definitely we see a bearish angle on GJ, which is according to what we would like it to do, and might get a USD CAD push as well here. So just have to be patient here. Alrighty, so we're still waiting for the next candle closure. It's about 4 minutes from now. So GJ did reject the 50-minute EMA. That's nothing out of the ordinary. We did see the previous wick that did tap the EMA, rejected, and went right all the way back up. Where we saw the price reaching at the opening of London. And again, we'll see how this current candle closes in 3 minutes, right? The 15-minute and the 30-minute. Could see a push down. Again, have to be very, very patient. Sometimes price may move in your direction, but again, as many of you know, even a small 20 pip range can still take some time, right? So of course I'm going to be here so once we do get an execution, I do want to see something, whether it hits the SL or TP, something before we exit the live stream, right? So that's something that we need to see. Again, GJ rejected the 50-minute EMA. Now it's coming back up. We're about 2 minutes away from the closure of the current 50-minute and 30-minute candle. So we'll see what happens for GJ. Again, GJ is approaching our entry point. And USD CAD is above entry, but just idling at entry. And we're about 1 minute away. GJ is pushing up. Again, there is no wick on the opening, London opening candle, the 1 hour, 2 hour, 30-minute, 50-minute, right? All those candles, no wick on that. So that's definitely something that we could see it fill. But let's take a look and see what happens here. So GJ did close below our 30-minute. It did close below our entry, right? So we're about seconds away before the closure of the 30-minute. So let's see what happens here. Okay, here we have it. So GJ actually closed right at entry, right? Or right around entry. So you can see that the EMA, the 50-minute EMA tap is still quite strong, because look at the rejection for the previous two taps. But the price is right entry, but let's see if we get this pushed down for GJ. USD CAD is still rotating here. Again, right above our entry. So we have USD CAD buys and we have GJ sells. Okay, so we see both pairs right at entry again. So you see, that should indicate a couple things. One is that it keeps rejecting, entering the range. Obviously, we know more specifically because of the EMA tap, and price has landed there previously, creating a small, resistance or support there. The other reason is the other thing is that it's a good thing, because it allows us to understand that price is settling here, right? So because it's a significant point, which is one end of the range, it does allow us to understand that the price is idling here. So it's a good range that was drawn out where we can see price rejecting, right? Again, these are one-to-one setups for both USD CAD and GJ. And since they are one-to-one setups, the reason why I have longer stops for this particular setup. Normally for GJ, a small range would be, within 20 to 25 pips. But because of this entry that was executed prior to London opening, we had kept some breathing room, right, in terms of the stops. So because of that, we kept it to 27 pips. So our 1-to-1 risk to reward ratio, right, is 27 pips to 27 pips. For USD CAD, we see it what 20, it's about 24 pips, 25 pip range. So we kept it to 1-to-1 as well, and 24 pips to 24 pips. And I've labeled here where our buys for USD CAD and our sells for GJ are. And again, I'm not sure how clear the screen is for you guys, but where we see the green here, that means that's where our exit would be ideally. But again, it's not guaranteed that we exit there because of trade management, right? So we see if price is rejecting our entry and it's going back up against us, and for example in GJ, if it's going up and against us as it has been slightly, we have to kind of see during that time how should we manage this trade accordingly, right? So what are the proper ways? Do we just let it run? If we kind of see that it's going against us all the way through, we can exit early even if it's in a loss, or we can exit early even if it's not, or even if it has not reached our TP, right? So when price was down here for the 15-minute EMA tab GJ, we could have closed in about 15 pips. So that would have been about 60% of our original 1-to-1. So if we were, let's say, risking 1,000 to win 1,000, we would have got 60% of that. So $600 we would have got and exited, right? Okay, so I see some of you guys have executed. Yeah, so yes, price has been hopping back into entry points. That is something that we've seen quite a few times over the last half hour or so. But again, it's not only, and I want to emphasize this, the aspect of just entering a trade and just letting it run and forgetting about it. That's not what I would call trading, especially when you're scalping and day trading and intraday trading. What we want to do is we want to master trade management, right? So active trade management. That's not only risk management, that's not only money management, but overall trade management, which entails both of those things. And we want to make sure that if the trade is truly going against us and we don't feel there's any hope, we close it possibly in a loss, or we close it early because we see something that's going wrong, and we have this idea that it's going to reject and go against us. We can close in profit as well, right? Or if the price is nearly at our TP and it's 1 or 2 pips away and there's a 1 hour candle in 1 minute, right, or a couple minutes, we can close out as well. So all of those things you guys will see in these live streams, which will help you develop as a trader, and understand that if you don't actively manage your trade, you may end up losing more and may end up not being profitable at the end, right? So those are kind of a few things that actually allowed me to become profitable, is by cutting losses and taking the profits ahead of time, right? It's not always waiting for that 1-to-1. It's not a perfect world. The markets are definitely not a perfect world, and you have to understand that. And once you accept that, you'll accept closing trades either early, whether it's in losses or it's in profits, right? So that's something that's that you have to keep in mind. Okay, so again, we're right at entry for USD CAD, and GJ is hobbling around our entry point. So I don't like how GJ is moving simply because it's been reaching our entry point too often now. And secondly, there's a no or non-wick candle above the price for GJ, right? So our London opening candle opened up with no wick. So that being filled, there is a possibility, right, before price coming right back down. And the way GJ is moving, it seems like it may end up filling that before it may come down. So that's why I'm not liking how GJ is moving. And again, that 15-minute EMA tap did change a few things, right? Because that EMA tap was in between our range, right? You could see it's literally in between the range, which means that if it did tap with a level of support, that price could go right back up. But I'm still gonna evaluate GJ right now, so we're still gonna let it run. Price is about 4 pips in drawdown, three pips now in drawdown, so not too bad. And it is a 1-to-1, so that's fine. We can bear that risk. And USD CAD is right at entry, and it is tapped the 30-minute EMA for the third time now. So for the third time now, we're seeing the EMA tap. The 1 hour is below. Right, let's look at the 1 hour EMA on USD CAD. It is below the price. But again, the range looks pretty clean for USD CAD. So this would be one of the better setups. Better than GJ just because how GJ has been moving. But again, GJ is right back at entry again. So let's see what GJ does here. There is no wick on the current candle, so that may ride back up. We see USD CAD pushing up as well. But again, it's nice to see a lot of you guys joining. I'm not sure how many of you guys are from the Telegram group, or from Instagram or any other platforms where you guys follow me, or simply if you found me through YouTube. But again, I am trying to grow the community as much as possible. Trying to bring the community towards a simple system that works, that has been working, and I'm trying to get that out there, right? It's not always one system that works. There's other systems that can work. I do believe this is one of the most simpler systems out there. If you get, the basics down, all you have to do is continue to practice, and with the live streams, you join as many as possible and understand and educate yourself how to get in this. Oh wow, GJ is having a huge push down here. Huge push on GJ. Right, and again, there's no wick on the current candle. We are approaching the 15-minute candle closure and the 15-minute EMA for GJ. We're getting a huge push on GJ. Let's take a look at the 30-minute EMA. So again, it's right below price. But a nice ride down. So you see now, price again is about 15 pips in profit. So again, if you feel that this is 60% of the trade, so if you feel that this is something that you want to stick with, you can go ahead. But for me personally, because of how I see the setup and how I understand the setup and the range, I'm going to be holding on to this. USD CAD is coming up as well. So USD CAD is in the smaller range right here. You guys can see. See, it's another small range, but that's too small to trade. A typically small range for USD CAD should be above 15 pips or above. Right, okay, so we see another tap of the 15-minute for GJ and a rejection occurring. Ooh. So GJ also is in this small range right here. It's about a 19-20 pip range. Not bad. Not bad at all. But that should tell you that there's ranges everywhere, right? Even this 19-20 pip range would be tradable for GJ. All right, we're going to have to see. Okay, we got about, what, 1 minute left till another 15-minute candle closing. Okay, let's see. Let's see how GJ pushes down on the 15-minute candle closure for the new 50-minute candle opening. Let's see. Just seconds away. Okay. All right, so we're going to have GJ close down right above the EMA, which is about in the middle of our entry and TP. Right? Could we get another 15-minute bearish candle on GJ to close out this trade and hit TP? Let's see. Or will it tap the EMA and reverse? Let's see here. Okay. USD CAD. Let's see again. You guys can make the decision. If you guys feel again, GJ is at the 50-minute EMA, which is about 60% of the full trade. So using appropriate trade management, if you feel that this is something where you guys are satisfied with, you guys can close in profit and let this trade go, right? For the ones that are okay and understand that this trade has enough bearing for it to drop to our TP, you guys can let the trade run, right? There's also other options of closing partials, where you have some trade running and then the other trade is closed in profit. So just an example of a partial closure is where, for example, let's say this was a 1-to-1. Let's say you're trading $100,000 prop firm account. You're risking 1%, which is 1,000. Once price reaches to the TP on a 1-to-1, it would be 1%, $1,000. But if it's only reaching 60%, which is the EMA right now, which I mentioned, if you guys want to close, that'll be 60% of the trade, which means you'll be about $600 up. If you felt that that's something that's suitable, you can close out fully. Or if you want to close a partials, let's say 50% of that, you would close out $300, take the cash out $300, and let the other $300 run whether you let that 300 run to the stop loss fully or you adjust it to break even, that depends on the scenario. Now, there's high probability that if the price comes back up, it will reach above the break even point, right? So we're going to have to see how price can dump further, and if not, can evaluate where price gets back to entry position. Now, USD CAD is coming up, but again, there's an EMA tap. Again, very significant indicator here, and that's why I use them to understand whether I want to continue the trade, exit, or let the trade ride. So there's no wick on the current 50-minute candle for USD CAD. So we can see the price dump down. There's an EMA above it as well. So there's two things, two factors that are indicating that the price can come back down, right? And so USD CAD is also in profit. So we will have to evaluate whether once the tap occurs, will we continue? How and when does the tap occur? Like, will the tap occur after an engulfing candle, right? So if the current candle, 50-minute candle, is engulfing candle and closes and then it taps it, could it just ride above? Because we are approaching the 1 hour candle. So there's a lot of things to consider, right? And I'm kind of rushing through this, but I'll break it down as we move into each live stream. But there's a lot of things to consider, right? Now GJ is coming back up. Did not tap the EMA this time, but is coming back up. And we still have about 10, 11 minutes till the 1 hour closure, candle closure. Let's see what happens here. We do have USD CAD coming up as well into more profit. It's going to tap the 15-minute EMA. And the current candles has no wick either. Right, so and that's the third straight 5-minute candle that has no wick. So a lot of certainty that it can come right back down, but I'm still not adjusting anything just because the way price is moving, I see GJ can continue to move down, right, before the 1 hour. Now, if we have the 1 hour candle and the price has still not reached TP or still has not done something significant, I will consider shifting the stop loss or adjusting or closing out early, right? So on higher time frame candles, higher time frame candles, whether it's candle closures or openings, I like to evaluate and see what my options will be, because if it wouldn't close out after a higher time frame candle, then I need to kind of see if I should continue with the trade or not, right? And again, this is a small range for both pairs. So, we see USD CAD pushing up here. Will it continue up? And GJ is pushing down. So we could see both setups close or complete prior to the 1 hour candle closure. So the next 8-9 minutes can be crucial here. And, we can win both setups here in the next 7-8 minutes, which will be really nice. Nice to see. And it'd be nice because this is our first YouTube live stream. This is the first public live stream that I'm doing with all you guys in here. Okay, so we see so we see a big push on GJ down. So we're about 11 pips. So we were about 9 pips away from TP. Still rejecting that EMA. Will it push down further? We do see a bearish push right on the 15-minute candle. Let's see for GJ. Will it continue the ride down? All right, so we have about, again, 7-8 minutes. into our 1 hour candle closure, which is more significant than the smaller time frame candles. And we have our USD CAD push here as well. So we're getting good movement and we're well into profit for both pairs. So we're about 12, 13 pips into profit for USD CAD, and we're about 12, 13 pips into profit for GJ. So both pairs are in profit, more than halfway. And we're about very close to our 1 hour candle closure in 6-7 minutes. So this is a push here because I'm going to decide whether I continue to hold these trades past that 1 hour, because we don't want the 1 hour coming rejecting and pushing against our full 1 hour push in the previous hour, right? So sometimes when a larger time frame candle opens, it may go completely against our position, and we just don't want to get into that trouble, right? Again, that's another part of responsible trade management. All right, we're seeing the GJ push here. And USD CAD push. So again, now I'm not just teaching you guys appropriate setups for them to complete, but at times you have to be responsible with your trade management and even close out, even if you're some pips away or if you see something that's rejecting and you don't want to hold out, right? As long as we can cut our losses and maximize our profits, that's the goal here, right? And maximizing our profits doesn't mean holding the trade until the third or fourth TP. Maximizing means that if we see a rejection in between our entry and TP, even if it's the first TP, we can still close out and move on to the next trade. And that's because if price keeps coming back to our entry, it may eventually go against us, right? We don't want to have setups where it keeps coming back to entry. Yes, it may come once or twice or even a third time, but then the move should complete, especially in a smaller range. But if that's not the case, then we need to be more strict with our trade management and possibly close, whether it's in profit, loss, or break even, right? We need to be very responsible with that, and we need to be accountable. And that plays with psychology and an appropriate mindset when you're doing trade management, right? Okay, so we see now USD CAD rejected that 15-minute EMA all the way through. And we're about 4 minutes away. 4 minutes away from our 1 hour candle closure, right? So we see price reaching back to entry possibly with USD CAD, and GJ still rejecting the 15-minute EMA. Right, not completely, but let's see. And again, this is where we're in that hurdle of whether price will come back to entry or will it push down to our TP. So it's right in between, it's stuck in between that. And this is the challenge, right? This is in real time. We're looking at the challenge of how can we deal with this setup, right? And what's the best case scenario, right? Again, we may not always have the best case scenario, but what's the safest play here? Should we adjust these stops to break even? Should we cut into profit here and close out completely before the 1 hour candle closure? and before the price reaches back to entry, if it does, or do we let it ride and it ride all the way down, right? So these are things that you have to evaluate and you have to be comfortable with, and not hesitate too often, right? So again, me personally, I will still be holding, but that may not be everybody's cup of tea, right? So I'll still be holding as it's a safe 1% for me. USD CAD is not looking good here with the big rejection of the 15-minute EMA, right? So it not only rejected, but also there was no wick on the current candle. So that means that it may come down to fill that, or the current candle might just come down and wick and create a wick. And GJ is coming back up as well. And we're about 1 minute away from our 1 minute away from our 1 hour candle closure, right? So it was going our way, but now we're just looking at price trying to reach back to entry for both pairs. But let's see how, because I am holding on to, the trades. I'm not going to be exiting. If any of you guys exited, good stuff. You guys exited both trades in profit. If you guys didn't exit, like me, we're still holding out. I still feel the next hour will push the price down, right? But that is not to say that I can be wrong. But again, for those that did close out, cheers to you guys. And you guys can either enjoy watching the rest of the live stream to see what happens, or enjoy your day and move on to the next session. All right, so we do see the new candle opening. Again, no wick on the current 50-minute candle for GJ. No wick on the current candle for USD CAD. So moving very similarly in opposite directions. They are inversely correlated. That's one of the reasons why I do trade them. But again, not always. Okay, so GJ is tapping the 50-minute EMA. So there's another chance to close out here for all those that would like to. But if not, you're going to ride out like me. So let's see what happens. GJ is almost at the lowest point it's been. But again, no wick on the current 1 hour candle for GJ. And the same applies for USD CAD. So a lot of taps on the 50-minute EMA. So one of the confluences, just as price reaches back entry again and again, is that if it continues to tap the same EMA over and over and over again, yes, it could reject, but if there's more taps on the EMA, it may just pass by, right? It may just cross through that EMA. So let's see here. Okay, it is trying to push. GJ is trying to push that EMA, but the EMA is holding out strong, which is a good fight here that we can see live in real time. USD CAD did end up creating a wick on the current candle. But I do anticipate the price continuing up for USD CAD. And GJ is still in that EMA tap, 15-minute EMA tap zone. And again, I appreciate everybody joining the live streams, and still, I see that you guys are still, some of you guys are still on, so I really appreciate that. I am trying to grow the community as much as possible in the next weeks, months, and educate more people about this strategy and system, because it is something that has made me profitable. And again, it's very simple for a lot of traders to learn. If you know a little bit about baby pips, you can get right into this. This is for beginners, advanced beginners, intermediate traders, and so forth. The course is in the description, and I am planning on posting the live streams to YouTube, and on a regular basis as well, right? So even if you missed some of it, you guys can see how we executed the trades and setups and what we looked at. Although for today's live stream, we went right to action, right? The setups were just right at entry points, either end of the range, and we had to get right into execution mode. Again, that won't happen every time, but today was that case. And since then, we've been in this trade, so just over an hour now. We've been in at least GJ, and then under an hour for USD CAD. But still waiting here. So again, GJ is still continuing to tap the EMA and rejecting it. USD CAD is kind of doing the same thing, tapping the EMA, but again, they're opposite directions. And you guys are welcome to ask any questions anytime throughout the live stream. I'm more than happy to answer any questions you guys have. I will be focusing more on just these two pairs, USD CAD and GJ. Again, I do see a lot of movement, GJ specifically in London session, USD CAD specifically in pre-New York to New York session. But again, like today, with USD CAD, sometimes you can see movement in or during London session. That's why I'm actually in that setup for USD CAD right now, right? Because I did see some movement. I did see a nice setup forming, and we went and executed. So we can see USD CAD is in this small range. Nothing too big, but again, it's a very, very small zone here with the 50-minute EMA tap at the top of the range. So about 8 to 9 pip range. Nothing too strong to hold out for long. GJ is also in a smaller zone. There is a 5-minute EMA tap above the price. Let's see where the 30-minute EMA has moved to now. So you can see that the 30-minute EMA continues to float just under the bottom end of the range. And it's very possible now that, so just 6 pips below our bottom end of the range, very possible that it reaches, by the time price reaches the bottom, if it does reach, that the price can definitely come and tap the 30-minute EMA. Right, so there's a likelihood of GJ coming down and the 30-minute EMA being tapped. USD CAD is approaching entry, and so is GJ. We're going to wait out here, see. does a 5-minute EMA tap for GJ, and USD CAD is at the 30-minute EMA tap. Right, so both pairs are moving towards the EMA taps, whichever EMA tap is closest to it at this point. This is the fourth EMA or fourth tap of the 30-minute EMA for USD CAD, right? And which is right at our entry. So this was a instant execution for USD CAD, right? Because of the confluence being right at our bottom end of the range. For GJ, still shuffling, in the 50-minute EMA. So in between the 5-minute EMA and the 50-minute EMA, is juggling between there and stuck in that zone. USD CAD still battling its way, right above entry. So we're just going to let the price kind of keep moving here. Getting a slow volume pickup here right after the new hour candle. Let's see if, GJ can do a big bearish push here to close out this range. And likewise with USD CAD can do a bullish push to continue up. We're about 1 minute away from a new 5-minute candle. Okay, so we see both pairs open up with no wick on the current candle. So that's really happening a lot in this London session today. Normally doesn't happen that often, but of course it doesn't mean that the current candle won't already create a wick, which it already has done for both pairs now. Let's see if GJ rejects this 5-minute EMA and comes back down, towards the 50-minute EMA. And then we get that bearish push right down. Is anybody in the chat still in this setup? Of course, I'm gonna try to get more engagement with the with all you guys in the chat, so we can create a better understanding of what is everyone trading, and if you guys are maybe entering the same setup as I'm showing you here, which I suppose most of you guys will, but definitely want more engagement, with new members and old members alike, right? We're all in here to be profitable, work on a system, continue to, trade that system, to our success, right? That's the end goal here. The live stream schedule. So I will plan that out again. This is my first live stream on YouTube, not the first live stream that I've had. But I do plan on doing a regular schedule on YouTube. Typically, ideally, it would be 5 days a week, but I'm thinking more so on 3 to 4 days a week, right? So either Monday or Friday will be missed, but the rest of the 4 days, I will for sure. So Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, ideally, I want to make sure I do those live streams on those days. And typically, it'll be for London session, and some days it may be New York session, but London mostly. And Mondays and Fridays are the ones that I'm not 100% sure. That normally means because they may be a bank holiday, or some type of larger holiday, or Friday being a slower day, right? So those are the factors. But typically 4 out of the 5 days, 4 out of the 5 trading days, I will be on. And you guys can follow me on Telegram or the YouTube or Instagram, and I'll definitely post a schedule there for everybody to know. Okay, so we see both pairs, especially GJ, do a huge push towards our entry. So we'll be stuck there again. There is a non-wick candle right above our entry for GJ. So we may come and fill that and then continue down or reject the current EMA and come down. And USD CAD is rejecting the 30-minute EMA, but again, this is the 4th tap in the last 4 candles, right? So when we see something like that occurring over and over again, something be tapped over and over again, we may see a not reversal, but we may see a continuation. But because it's in such a clean range, I feel more confident about the setup. And with GJ, it may come up to fill this non-wick candle here, right above our entry, or reject this 5-minute EMA where it's at right now, and come back down to the 15-minute EMA and cross that and move down to our TP. So a lot of ways to go for GJ, and both prices are nearing our entry. I mean, USD CAD is at entry once again. And GJ, we're going to be patient here with GJ. Let's see. This is the new 50-minute candle opening. USD CAD is right at the 30-minute EMA. See if we get a strong push from GJ here. A bearish push. USD CAD is landing at our entry. Let's see if we get that push from GJ now. And we can see again the 30-minute EMA is even closer now to the bottom end of the range where our TP lies. It's about 8 pips away from the TP. But again, we're not looking for the price to tap the EMA. It possibly can, but we're already going to be out of the trade at that point. Okay, USD CAD is making a push down, crossing the 30-minute EMA. But does it have enough pull? Let's see. Okay, excellent. I see somebody mentioned, so they took profit on GJ. Excellent. Very good for you, right? So that's good trade management that you exit the trade in profit. and you're still in the USD CAD trade, right? So likewise, again, I'm in both setups. It doesn't always mean that I'll be right in terms of my trade management. Just because I see a push on GJ, right? I'm holding on. Of course, experience plays a role as well, but doesn't mean always experience will, outplay everybody else in terms of, the direction. But I feel, again, it's a 1% risk for me. It's not too bad of a risk, and I am able to bear that risk, right? Because it is a larger range. There's enough breathing room. 27 pips. It's a little larger than the smaller range, ideally, that I have for GJ. So those are some of the reasons why I'm holding on. But again, price rejecting the 50-minute EMA for GJ is a little bit annoying. But I could see, again, with the confluence of the EMA, the 30-minute EMA right below the range, I could see a little bit of confluence there where I'm, more confident to hold out this trade. But again, it's a nice exit here. Whoever wants to exit GJ and take some profit here, you're more than halfway into the trade. So why not, right? As far as USD CAD, again, it is nearly at entry. If it's not moving accordingly, you can still break even on this trade and not lose anything. But GJ, I do want to see that one more big push out of GJ for me to plan to close out. Now we are approaching a 4-hour candle closure, so that's a much larger candle than 1-hour candle closure, right? So that's why I didn't really end up closing out on the 1 hour, but on the 4-hour, if GJ does not, push enough, I may need to close out, right? Or even prior to that, just because GJ is again approaching entry again. Let's see. And USD CAD is coming down into drawdown now. So can we get that one more push, one more bearish push, one more larger push, and then I'll consider closing GJ, even if we don't get to TP, maybe down at 186, 120. All right, so 186.45 is our TP right now. But let's say even 186, 120, what would that make it? About 7 pips from TP. All right, but even right now, the price is still about almost halfway in. So it's not that bad. Not bad at all. But again, I mentioned the reasons why I'm holding out on this setup. So you guys can, decide for yourselves how you guys will manage the trade. I always leave it to the individual, but give out the options available so you guys can benefit as much as possible. And USD CAD is just, pushing through that 30-minute EMA. So we are about 9 minutes from a 30-minute candle closure. So we'll see how that closes out. They're really interested in this GJ right here, GJ setup here, to see if it can really push down. But cheers to all those all the members that have taken profit. That's a good step forward. Remember, taking partials 7 trades or 6 out of 7 trades or 3 out of 7 trades is better than, letting that trade go into drawdown and possibly losing each trade, right? Cutting our losses and taking as much profit as possible, even if it's partials. Now you can imagine that, let's just say, if you enter every trade, not every trade, but let's say you enter more trades, and that trade does get into profit, And if you ended up closing partials on each one of them, or let's say 70% of them, how profitable would have you been today, right? So a lot of questions to be asked. And it is, again, it does play a role, cutting out partials over the length of time. And, that could mean the difference between you being profitable or not. Believe it or not. And it's good psychology to take profits when you see them, right? And again, of course, if the setup is moving in line with, your setup, right? So that's always a good case. Now, see GJ coming down here. Let's see, can we get that push? So it just crossed the EMA right here. This is the push here. Let's get it, guys. Let's see. Can we get that push? Right here. So it's at 120. Oh, we see another big push here. All right, let's go, GJ. USD CAD is coming back up as well. So we're getting a nice push here. This could be it right there. Wow. Almost there. Look at that, guys. Clean move here, right? Predictable, in line with the setup, and perfectly analyzed, and a little bit of patience, and we get that move. Now, see, I can consider closing this now, right? So this was what at... I haven't closed it, but I'm saying I could consider closing this because it was only about 3 pips away from TP, right? So this is not a bad closure here. Even right now, it's what, 6-7 pips away. It's fine. I can close that out and I'll be satisfied. But I'm not closing it out because I see that there's a big bearish push here. There's 5 minutes left till a 15-minute candle closure. It could ride back up, but I also see USD CAD moving, up as well. So a lot of good movement here. I'm gonna hold out GJ. So I'll wait until the next 30-minute candle. So let's see. In the next few minutes, either I close out, either it hits TP, or I close out the trade in TP. So that's my angle here, right? So at this point in time, oopsies. At this point in time, this trade is going to break even for me. So I'm not risking any stops here, okay? So you see that trade management, guys? So right away, because the trade is always there, so I'm not even allowing this trade to give me anything below $0, which means I'm not losing anything in this trade. And I'm waiting for another minute here, but what I'm going to do here now is so I'm going to put my stop loss now. So listen to this, guys. I'm going to put my stop loss right at the 15-minute EMA here. So you guys can see the number here, 186, 167. So I'm putting my stop loss there. So I'm going to be closing this trade either in profit at the EMA, or it's going to give me TP. So this is how you secure your setup, and this is called active trade management. With this, there's a lot of safety. So we're going to close out either 60% of our trade. Yeah, so 14 out of 27, so more than 60%, sorry. And we have safety here that is closing out there. I'm still going to let USD CAD run, but GJ now, either it's going to give me the full TP or it's going to land over here. And the reason why I'm doing that is because on the 30-minute, there's 3 minutes left to the 30-minute, and I could see a huge push down on the 30-minute, right? So as soon as the 30-minute opens, if the price doesn't reach our stop loss, which is in profit right now, if it doesn't reach it, we can see a huge push down for the 30-minute. So, but I'm not risking, I'm not allowing the trade to go back to the EMA even. So a lot of safety here. So there's a win-win trade for us. There's no loss here. And we're happy to see what the trade does, but either way we're gonna end up in profit. Right there. Okay, so you see that big push. It's closing out. Let's see, where we're still a couple minutes away. So it may come back to EMA. That's perfectly fine. No worries. And sometimes, the spread might be larger. So depending on your spread with your broker, it could take you out here. So it's 1 pip away. GJ is playing a lot of games here. Okay, let's see. We'll look at USD CAD right after the 30-minute, but let's see. Big push. So you see here now, spreads do matter here. If you could have been stopped out here if you adjusted your stop loss here, but for me, it's still a fair play. And so we're looking at the 30-minute candle closure right, below our stops here. So that means that now when the new 30-minute opens, it may just push down, right? Or it may come right back up, but that's fine. We've secured our trade and set up here, and right there. Okay, so new 30-minute. Will it push down? Or will it ride back up? But again, I want you guys to be satisfied here because this is a win-win trade. We're not going to be in loss here. We're in profit here, right? The goal is to manage the trade. If we do this 100% of the time, there's no reason why you can't be profitable, right? I'm not sure how many mentors or how many other Forex teachers or people that sell a course and so forth, what they're teaching, whether it's always hold out till the first TP, but if you actively manage your trade, responsibly manage your trade with accountability, you will be a profitable trader in the end, right? So this is a risk-free trade for us. So whatever happens here now, we can go ahead and lay back and rest because no matter what happens, we've profited off this trade, right? Winning the trade as far as hitting the TP may not be the case, but if winning means you've cut the trade in profit, then that's a win. That's what, about 1.5 pips away. Again, spreads do matter here. So that's why low spread accounts can be very important at times, because it could save you from a stop out here. Okay, USD CAD is still around this neighborhood here, just in the same range here. It's a new 30-minute candle. Okay, let's see. So GJ is still let's see where the 30-minute EMA is now. So we're still about 8 pips away. And again, the management that I've done is for my own benefit and for what I felt was right. But for ones that are still holding out and haven't adjusted their stop loss or have adjusted the stop loss to break even, I would at least adjust it to break even. For the ones that have adjusted to break even, they may just end up getting the full TP here, right? But again, I give multiple options here, right? It's upon you how much you're able to bear in terms of letting the trade ride or closing out partially or fully. That's up to you guys, right? And that's something that that's why every trader, even if you guys execute the same setup, even then you guys may end up with different profits, right? Or losses, is because how you manage your trade. 1,000 people can enter the setup, and every single person out of the 1,000 people can have a different outcome, right? So that's how valuable trade management is. Responsible trade management goes a long way, and I truly believe that defines a profitable trader, someone who's actively managing the trade, and who has responsible trade management within their system, is most often profitable, right? Let me just see. Okay, yeah. So this stopped me out. So this trade would be closed out for me, about 60% into profit, right? But for the ones that maybe just adjusted it to stop loss, we can still see what would happen, right? But again, if let's say this price comes right back over here, you see why I set the TP here, because it's an EMA tap, right? So it's something that was a good indication for me to either set my stops or TPs, right? Which is a really good thing for me personally, for me to understand and set our stops or TPs, right? So it's a good indicator in that sense, right? That's not the only reason why I use indicator, but it's a good indicator for that sense as well. But again, price can ride up here. So for the ones that are just holding out continuously, you don't want to lose out too much profit at this point, right? So if I lost out, let's say, and I wouldn't consider losing out, because again, you're 6 pips, right? Nothing too bad. I mean, even if it got down here, another 6, 8 to 9 pips, that's okay, right? What this trade did do was give me 15 pips, right? So 15 pips is about 60%, and now you guys can see why I wouldn't want to allow it to pass this, right? So that 50-minute EMA was a good indication of or good stop to place it there for this particular trade and setup. All right, so USD CAD is rolling around break even again. So again, we're not seeing much movement on USD CAD. It's just stuck in this small range right here, right? Again, I still believe that it will come down. So because the US GJ trade is completed, right? So 15 pips. Let me write that here. So GJ trade at 15 pips. It's a win, right? So that was a win, and we can keep a log of that. And let me change the color for this. So we'll keep it. Our entries will be in black. Our the green will be our sorry, I was just playing my lecture in the background. But our wins will be in green and our losses will be in red. So we'll keep a track of that for USD CAD. Our break evens, I guess, can be in, I don't know, we'll keep it at black then, I guess. If it breaks even. So what I'm going to do with USD CAD is wait out until or see until the next 20 minutes or so, right before the 4-hour candle closure, to see where price is at. If again it's continuing to reject or tap the 30-minute EMA, it means it may just continue all the way down, right? And that's not something that's a good indication for us, because it can come right back up. So let's see USD CAD here, right? So sometimes again USD CAD can make a big push during London session, and sometimes they may just idle after doing a push and wait until the New York opening. Right, so let's see what it does here. So we're going to wait another 5 minutes or so. It's back at entry again. So again, one win and one is at break even right now. So let's see how the next 15-minute candle closes, right? So in about 5 minutes, let's take a look. If not, we may have to just close out and at break even or slightly in profit and close out and call it a day, right? Or into the new session. I won't be streaming the New York session since I've done the London session today. Typically, it'll be one session a day. So if I pick London, there won't be any New York session. And if there's New York session, there won't be a London session, right? Typically. So we'll keep it mostly a London session, and I will, mention the schedule very soon. Again, this is the first YouTube live stream, so just getting the hang of it. I'm also gonna take a look at the live stream and see if I should upload it, because I want to see if there's any lag or if there's any clarity issues or audio issues. So I just want to test that out and kind of watch the video myself, the live stream, and see if there's anything like that. Right, if there is, then I do have to fix that, and I may not upload it just because it's not going to be of good quality. But if it is, and I hope it is, I can definitely upload all the live streams that we do on YouTube. So again, USD CAD is at break even, slightly in profit. If you feel it's not a valid trade right now, you can exit the trade without a loss, right? So you don't lose anything. I mean, you would gain something because it is in profit right now. And GJ, we already seen that there was profit. I'm still holding on to USD CAD because I want to see how much of a push it does before the 4-hour candle closure. So there's a 50-minute candle coming up as well, which can be significant leading into the 4-hour candle closure. But GJ, there's no wick on the current 5-minute candle, so that can come back and fill it or push straight down. So let's see how that closes. So yeah, let's see how the 50-minute candle closes and how that translates into the 4-hour candle closure, right? So we're going to decide very soon what to do with USD CAD. GJ, of course, is already closed out. For me personally, for some members, for some that are attending the live stream, and I hope everybody has profited from GJ, because it still is in profit. It's actually at the point where I closed out, or where the trade closed out. But USD CAD is just at break even right now, so that's something that can get a little annoying, right? Because if USD CAD doesn't move when you executed it during London opening, then it may drag on into pre-New York session and into New York session, right? And if there is some fundamental events, high impact fundamental events, half an hour after New York opening, sorry, then it may move against you and so forth. So that's the annoying part about USD CAD. If it doesn't move accordingly during London opening, then you may have to drag it into New York session. And again, this is a smaller range, right? Small to medium range for USD CAD in terms of what I label it as according to my system, right? But let's see what happens with USD CAD. We're about 1 minute away. We're about 1 minute away from the 50-minute candle closure. Let's see. Safe to say we're out of GJ. And I'm not sure how safe to say that we're still in USD CAD, but let's see. Right, so we're going to evaluate. We're going to be responsible with our trade management and figure out what to do with USD CAD. Right, so that's the fun part, and that's why I really enjoy trading. Is not just letting it, setting up the trade and letting it run and seeing what happens, whether it goes there or go there. No. Why should we do that when we can actively manage a trade, right? And again, this strategy is not based. It can be based on swing trading, but I'm focused on active scalping, intraday trading, as a lot of members are trading prop firm accounts, whether it's funded accounts or the phase 1 phase 2 element. So for them it's very fitting, right, that this strategy is something that you can find setups actively in each session for at least 4 out of the 5 days, or even every day. And it's something that can work. It's simple to understand, and the more practice you have, the more experience you have, the more chart time you have with this system in mind, the more results you'll get. So we are into our last 15-minute candle before the 4-hour. Okay, I'm not really satisfied with USD CAD. I just don't like how it's moving. So it doesn't mean that the setup won't run its course, but it may not run its course until closer to a New York opening, right? If it does, but I would like to close this out before the 4-hour candle closure. I don't want it to last much longer. Let's take a look at the 4-hour here. Could definitely, have bullish momentum. It's not something that it won't have. And 30-minute EMA right here. So it's showing signs that it can push up. Okay, yeah, USD CAD is right at entry. Okay. You know what? There's a non-wick candle, and it's gonna push down as well. It's not good what USD CAD is doing right now. But it could definitely come back up. See, the rejection of 30-minute EMA looks strong. So it could definitely come back for the full ride up. We do have the 1 hour below. Okay, you know what? We're gonna hold on to USD CAD. Um, let's see if this can give us more profit. So USD CAD is gonna be held um, until the last 5 minutes of the 4 hour candle closure. So I was going to end the stream soon, but you know what? I think with a 30-minute EMA tap here, again rejection here, we could see a ride up. But again, the current 5-minute candle has no wick. So let's see how that closes out in the next 1 minute and into the last 5 minutes prior to the 4 hour candle closure. That's when it will decide. You can still see GJ push down all the way here, down to the lowest point it's been in the last 4 hours. So we could see that push down, and we could see GJ USD CAD come up. So, all right, let's be a little patient here, and let's continue this ride. Alrighty. Okay, so we see GJ coming down. Let's see, as anticipated. And USD CAD is still stuck right around entry. So we got 8 minutes left till what would that be? The 4 hour candle opening and closure. We could see a huge USD CAD fly up here alongside a huge GJ push down. So again, I'm still watching this trade to see what would happen with this GJ setup and kind of show you guys the legitimacy of this system, right? Not that the trade management part doesn't have its own bearing in terms of any system, right? You should always be able to manage a trade and follow your system, right? The system incorporates the trade management perspective. The strategy is one thing, and then the system where you can actively manage the trade assess your stops, adjust your stops, and adjust your TPs accordingly, right? Taking partials along the way as well. Definitely has a larger impact as well on your overall profitability. Okay, so we are looking at the push for USD CAD. Is anybody still holding out USD CAD? Anybody in the chat? I mean, I'm not sure if there's any new members. Anybody new that has joined, or anyone still holding out USD CAD, or even GJ? You guys can type in the chat. I know a few of you guys had mentioned that you guys are closed out GJ, but holding out USD CAD. So let's see. Well, for those that are holding USD CAD, let's see if there's good news here before the 4-hour candle closure. And also, guys, I'm trying to get more engagement in these live streams. I know it's the first one. We had, just under 10 people. I think 9 or 10 at the max. If you guys can also not share, I was going to say share, but if you guys can like and subscribe if you haven't already, that would really help grow the channel and grow the live streams itself. So for anybody watching, if you guys can, if you haven't subscribed already, subscribe if you can, and like the stream so we can get more engagement and more people joining and finding out about this. Thank you. Ooh, okay, we see huge GJ push down, right? And USD CAD alike. And you can see, you guys, from time to time, I will, actively switch through the time frames, right? Now I can split the screen here. I do have the pro plan, but again, I'm switching through the 2 different pairs, right? That I'm trading at the same time. But I know we're not trading GJ, but let's see, the outcome of GJ as well, right? Okay, nice push here. For any new people joining here on the live stream, again, I will be setting out a schedule. Do follow my Telegram or Instagram where I may lay out a schedule. But it will be, at least I will try to do it at least 4 days a week, but it could be between 3 to 5 days. And it will be live here on YouTube for the time being. Oh, wow. So GJ pushed all the way down. Look at that. What a clean push. Right before the 4-hour candle closure. So great setup here. And for anybody holding out onto GJ, this would have been the big push that you're waiting for right before the 4-hour candle closure to hit your TP and close out the full range. Right, where's the 30-minute EMA? It's right there. So, and USD CAD is up there as well. Again, for anybody holding on USD CAD, as I am, and I decided to, that's also oh, look at that, GJ, guys. Look at that. GJ has hit our TP. That would have closed out the trade wonderfully. Right? Look at that, guys. Clean setup, clean range. And right before the 4-hour candle closure, we got the full TP hit, right? And look at that. We could see the 30-minute EMA tap here as well. But that's that, right? And USD CAD is on the way up. Probably crossing the 15-minute here. but a clean push. Just beautifully put out here. And we're still a couple minutes away from the 4-hour candle closure. What a clean push, guys. That's excellent. It's our first YouTube live stream here. I have done live streams, privately with the course members. So if you guys are interested in the course, it is in the description. But I've done live streams with them. We have not lost a trade since we started live streams about a month ago. And we did divide our time between London and New York session, but this was a clean setup in the making and all live, executed from every game point and analyzed and managed the trade accordingly as well. So everything was shown here live, and you guys can run back the live stream and see as well. And we are still in this setup right here. There's a non-wick candle for the current 5-minute candle. We are, seconds away from the 4-hour candle closure. Oh, wow, GD is just doing a huge push. Okay, we are seconds away from a 4-hour candle closure. Okay, so USD CAD is still pushing up here right after the 4-hour candle opening now. So GJ, that trade setup is done for us. And looking into USD CAD, still seeing what USD CAD could do here. So we're about 8 or 9 pips into profit for USD CAD. We're gonna wait out here and see how USD CAD moves here. It's no wick on the current candle, so you can see the last two 50-minute candles there's no wick, which means it can easily come back down and tap the EMA, and then again stuck in this small range, or it can push up and try to complete this full range up. Let's see. GD is coming back up, so we're gonna have to see here. Cheers to everybody who took that trade. Still holding USD CAD, yes. I am holding USD CAD as well, but again, the EMA tap here is it's juggling between the 15-minute EMA and the 30-minute EMA tap. Just as GJ was doing it with the 5-minute and 50-minute EMA tap. Let's see if we can get USD CAD to push up against the 50-minute EMA and continue its move up. Right, USD CAD did make a huge push up earlier, from Wednesday. But it seems now it's retracing. And let's see. Definitely GJ can move down here. Has a lot of room to move down. And you see, guys, this was a third to third touch. So the guarantee of GJ coming back, which it can, is not that certain. So for us to, trade that next range, we can't even consider it. I personally wouldn't consider it, and that's why I'm not even worried about that. That trade is complete. We're out of the session. And no GJ trading for the rest of it, until tomorrow. Let's see. For USD CAD, still anticipate this was a cleaner setup, right? USD CAD was a cleaner setup with a higher probability, and we are still in USD CAD right now as we speak. At least I am, and there are some people in the chat are also mentioning that they are as well. So that's great. And for all the course members that have attended the previous live streams that we've held privately through Zoom, they can confirm that we have still not lost a single trade that we have executed during live streams. That is on record. So there is still no loss that has been done in any of these Zoom live streams since I've released the course. And now I am, live streaming on YouTube. This is the first day, and we won one, and GJ, and the second one is in profit right now. And this is nothing to do with simply just the strategy alone, right? The strategy gives us great setups. That's the benefit of the strategy. It gives us straight setups in a simplified manner, but then there is the trade management aspect as well. So one thing is that it should be a solid strategy, a simple strategy to understand, and then responsible trade management. Those two things put together, is what is called a system, and that system, all in one, with a proper mindset, will get you to be profitable, right? And I'm gonna be here on YouTube as long as possible, to allow everybody to benefit. And let's grow this community. Let's grow this strategy out to everybody, so everybody can benefit. And you guys can be real day traders, right? Nothing like a lot of people out there that claim to be traders, but a real system, a real strategy, a simple strategy, a trader's mindset, appropriate psychology, and a growing community working together. We can make this large, and we can benefit ourselves and become the best trader that we can be, right? And at the least a profitable trader. So the journey that a lot of traders have to make on their own, we can make together, following one strategy, one system, and the rest is yet to be seen. Okay, so USD CAD is still holding out. We're going to have to just wait out here. So we're about, how many pips is that? About 16 pips away. So let's just continue to hold, and let's see. And yep, still in this small range right here. Alrighty. Okay, so we're still rejecting the 50-minute EMA on the USD CAD pair. Let's take a look in more depth. So we do have a non-wick candle at our entry point for USD CAD. GJ seems to be resurfacing back. So it's indicating to me that USD CAD is still going to be in this small range right here. It's still stuck in this range with the EMA taps on both ends. So USD CAD is more likely, dragging this trade into New York session. So that's what's going on right now with USD CAD. And typically we don't want to hold on a scalp trade for too long, especially when there's high impact fundamental events approaching, right? So half an hour after New York opening, there's the USD news, unemployment claims, which is high impact, and we don't want to ruin our setup. So, and the reason why I'm mentioning that is because if that is indeed the case, and since we executed during London opening or during the London session, and the trade is being dragged on, maybe it's a trade to let go, right? If that range is not, completing within that certain amount of time, we don't want to take that risk by having a high impact fundamental event, maybe hurting our case in our scenario, right? Especially if that trade is still idling right around our entry zone. So we'll continue to hold out USD CAD. Let's see another 15 minutes or so. And let's see if we can get a big push out of USD CAD. But again, as I mentioned, you don't want the trade to drag on too long. That's not something I would like to do in these live streams. If it's not happening in the session that you're trading in, dragging the trade on too long may not be the best option. Right? So let's continue to see how it's going to move on, or how the trade's going to move in the next 15 minutes. Right, no wick candle again. So that's a common theme today for both pairs. It's continuing to push up. It's about 5 pips away from the highest point it's been in the last 4 hours. But there's an EMA tap again, the 15-minute EMA tap, which again is the top end of the small range that we see for GJ, or for USD CAD, sorry. Alrighty. Okay, so USD CAD is still, rejecting this 15-minute EMA. And it also opened up the current 15-minute candle, opened up with no wick. So that can definitely come back down. Let's look at GJ. Still, at the 30-minute EMA. Again, USD CAD could make a good bullish push up here, which would help with our current scenario with the trade setup and not, having it to drag into New York session. Okay, I see somebody commented the direct is 9 minutes late. So are you guys all getting the stream very late, or so is there so are the moves happening very late on your end? Yeah, so see, I need to go back and watch the live stream and see what's going on in real time. Okay, so seems to be there's a huge delay between the live and what you guys see, right? So I need to look over that and see for the next stream. So thank you for providing that feedback. If there's any other feedback as well, if or anybody else also experienced this, can you guys please message in the chat and let me know? Right, I just want to know from actual market movement and what I'm streaming. Is there any delay on your end for any other member watching the stream as well? So I'm gonna definitely work to that and get it up to par, because that's not obviously acceptable, right? If we're looking at real-time live trading and there's a 9-minute delay or even a minute delay, 30-second, that's too far from reality, right? And that won't work in a real market conditions, and that won't work in real just any live stream. That wouldn't apply. So I need to definitely look into that. And if you guys can provide all the feedback as well, that would really help and appreciate it. Okay, we're stuck with this GJ USD CAD not moving, to par with what we need it to. I don't know how long I want to drag this trade on for. We've already been on for, more than almost, or right around 3 hours now. I've been live streaming, so we need to kind of see where this trade ends up. Let's see if we can get a big push here. We're definitely getting a push from USD CAD now. Kajita is definitely pouring down. Let's take a look at USD CAD. Definitely getting the push now. Also, can anybody else also look at the real market pricing and the live stream pricing in the video? And can you guys tell me how much of a delay there is in terms of minutes or seconds? Okay, so huge lag at the moment between live price and price on the live stream. Okay. Okay, so definitely there's something, yeah, there's something that I need to fix here. I do have other software, where I use the screen share element. I'm not sure if that's part of the issue or whatnot, or the low latency that I've chosen as the option for better graphics, but there's a delay. But I'll definitely look into that. Thank you for the feedback. This is again our first YouTube live stream, so I'm definitely learning along the way and making sure that we get a better experience. Obviously, if there's such a delay as you guys are mentioning, it's not the best experience, especially if we're trying to trade in real time and capture, all the moves and all the setups and entries. So I'll definitely take a look at that right after the stream, and before either I do a live stream tomorrow if I can get everything fixed, um, or Monday. But I'm hoping I can get it back, get everything in order before tomorrow, so we can do another live stream for London session tomorrow, right? Would everybody like a live stream for tomorrow for London session? Right, so we have two great setups today. GJ was just um, an amazing setup. Some of us closed early, and now USD CAD is the other pair and the setup that we have here. And again, I'll continue to do this. I'm trying to grow this community as much as large as possible. Every subscription, every time, every member that's joined the live stream, if you can subscribe and like the stream, that would really help us grow. Again, I'm gonna cater. I'm gonna make sure I cater to a better experience for all you guys, especially with the real time. I don't like the lag or the. I had a feeling that there's a delay or lag, but I don't like that idea of that, especially in the context of real time trading, right? Okay, so USD CAD is moving along, perfectly accordingly, and definitely helping our case.